Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the From the Stands podcast. We are back on this November 20th, just before Thanksgiving week. Very exciting stuff going on with another jam-packed episode for you guys. A little football, a lot of football, actually, college and pro. And then we're going to talk a little international football break as well with some countries, big and small, punching their tickets to the World Cup that will be in the United States summer of next year. See, Romania is still TBD on that, so a little spoiler there. But Fezzy boy,
Oh boy.
tell the folks what they got coming up.
Yeah, like Sam said, we got a lot of football going on. Obviously, we're going to recap week 11, some really, really big games, obviously, with like a lot of implications to be won and played for. Seahawks versus Rams, Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles, Lions. Obviously, those games happen. We'll dive right into those. And then we'll preview this next week. Not as many good games, but Chiefs and Colts, really, really big game. I mean, I need the Colts to come out big. I would love nothing more than to see the Chiefs not make the playoffs. Call me a hater. I'm all right with that. Then we'll touch on some Cowboys and Eagles. That's always a good game. Cowboys looking pretty good, Sammy, huh? Looking a lot better after a couple of those trades that Jerry's been putting together.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Inferior
not bad. And
competition
then
Raiders, but we'll see.
And then Vikings and Packers will finish up with and then taking a look at our teams a little closer, obviously, and some fantasy talk to wrap up the NFL portion of it. James Franklin gets hired at Virginia Tech. We'll talk about that. Take a look at the CFP rankings as well. And like Sam said, we'll talk some international soccer, and then we will get out of here. But stay tuned for all of that coming up next.
Alrighty, starting off with a little NFL football. We had several riveting games from this past week. None bigger than Seahawks Rams. Both teams coming in with very respectable records, both at 7-2. Really a dogfight here in the NFC East, not East, NFC West. Sorry. And Rams taking the dub 21-19. Matthew Stafford continuing his very solid MVP level season with another couple tuds here. Kyron Williams getting on the board as well. Rams just really finding their groove. Down a little bit early, but Seattle, really the name of the game in this one is Darnold getting back to throwing bucket load of picks. Four picks on the day here. The fact that they didn't get blown out by 3 or 4 possessions is crazy to me. But
more about
seeing
their
ghosts
defense?
once again.
Does that say more about their defense? Like, that's how good Seattle's defense is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're back to Legion of Boom status as far as I'm concerned.
For
so
sure.
The fact that they were even in this game late proves how good the defense is, and against a very, very good offense, obviously, with Puka and Kyron and all them boys over there on the other side.
Dude, absolutely. Like, yeah, there's no world you should be in the game still if your quarterback's throwing 4 INTs. Like, that's just absurd. Like, talk about winning the turnover battle and still having a chance at the end of the game. I mean, they only lost by 3 points. They just needed a field goal to take it to overtime. So I think this is the best case scenario for Darnold, because like he actually has a defense that will be able to, I mean, literally hide his deficiencies. Like, throwing that many picks in your defense is still keeping your game against, like you said, a high-powered offense with an MVP caliber quarterback and Matthew Stafford. Like, dude, I mean, Seahawks could be for real. Their downfall will be Darnold in the playoffs. Just don't play the Rams if you're Darnold. Like, dude, obviously you had that bad game last year, so
exactly. If I was him, like, you'd be. It definitely seems like the Rams are in his head mentally. Obviously, the Rams ended their season last year when he was in Minnesota. Obviously, have this game, so they definitely have his number so far. So it might be a little bit of a mental thing going on with him. But what do you think about obviously him throwing 4 picks? Do you think that's a sign of things to come or everything? One thing I did like to see is all the Seattle guys. There was 3 or 4 different guys going into the press after the game saying that they had his back, just like really emphatic, like just backing up their quarterback. Obviously, some of that's just going to be good teammates and everything, and also realizing that maybe they definitely need him to make a run in the direction that they want to. But after that Vikings game last year in the playoffs, you didn't really see any of the Vikings players doing that. So love to see that from his teammates. But do you think that's a problem for Darnold going forward, or maybe it's just a blip and he's got something with the Rams here?
I wouldn't say it's something with the Rams. I think it's just big games because, like, obviously they had
Mm,
basically that quote unquote playoff game at the end of the season last year. Beat the Lions, and you have that first round bye, home field advantage, and everything. And then unfortunately they lose to the Lions in a big Sunday night football game. Play the play the Rams the next week, I believe, because that was the last game of the season, and just absolutely like implode against that team as well. So I think it's more of just a big game thing. Obviously
yeah.
Darnold has bounced around, hasn't really been the guy for that long. So, it might take him a couple years, but like, I don't know, not good to have kind of the shtick that like you don't turn up in big games. So, I mean, once you get to the playoffs, every game's a big game, no matter who you're playing, Rams or otherwise. So I think what it says to me with them backing him up, I mean, the Vikings did that last year. I mean, the clips going around of I can't remember what game they won, but they all came into the locker room and they were like dumping water on Darnold and we're like cheering him on, like this is our guy and stuff like that. And then obviously he goes and loses to the Lions and loses to the Rams. So I mean, yeah, you want people to be behind your quarterback, but I think this is more of a bad sign, to be honest, from Darnold. So maybe he'll turn it around, but I just don't have that much faith in him.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm tend to be a little bit more of a believer in Darnold this year rather than last year. When Darnold
Okay.
was putting up good numbers with the Vikings last year was against a lot of just really, really bad teams. I
Mm.
remember even, when we were talking on the pod last year, the Vikings going to the playoffs, saying that I think the Vikings were going to get wrecked because they haven't played anybody yet. A little bit different this year. He's obviously played some better teams and putting up 250, 300 yards almost week in, week out. And I remember speaking of the Vikings when Kirk Cousins had like that abysmal like primetime record where like every primetime game like he wouldn't
Mhm.
necessarily throw 3 or 4 picks or anything like that, but he just could not get them to win. Like he had an
Yeah.
abysmal record in prime time, and I think that may be a little bit similar here with Darnold. But um, I I think Darnold will get it fixed. Obviously, they play the Rams again in the regular season, so that'll be a good test, before they go into the playoffs. But I think that at this point, you can't contest that he's a good quarterback.
Mhm.
Just based off this season alone, obviously, and then last year as well. But whether or not he can get to that next level and really elevate in those big time prime time and then also playoff games, I think will remain to be seen. But we'll see if he's definitely a good quarterback in my eyes. So
You
we'll see.
Yeah. You think that they've beaten better teams this year? I mean, I would say yeah, last year Vikings for sure had a cakewalk, but like if you look at their win, I mean, they started off the season losing to the 49ers, which all in all has been a good team, banged up. Lost to beat the Steelers, which we've seen not great team. Saints
Mm.
awful, bottom of the league. Cardinals not great, lost to the Bucks, good team. Jags
He played
hit or
really well
miss,
that
beat
game
them.
too, though.
True. I mean, yeah,
Lost
38 to
by 3.
35. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But then you got the
341
Jags,
yards.
Texan, Commanders aren't what they were last year, Cardinals again, and then lose to the Rams, which is a good team. So, I mean, one would say maybe it was, still not that
Yeah,
great of a schedule.
not that great, but still better than last year. I mean, Jacksonville is in
Absolutely.
the hunt
Yeah.
to be in a playoff position. Houston, that was kind of before they imploded and lost CJ Stroud. Pittsburgh, they were good at the beginning of the year and they blew the doors off you guys. So
Yeah, they
um
did.
um
Oh, we got
yeah, I
shellacked.
definitely agree that it's not like all, just rigorous like the Eagles schedule, for example, just playing playoff teams week in, week out. But um yeah, I just think that it's going to be a little bit more solid this year. And I think the way he's played in those games has shown me something a little bit more than maybe last year. But it's a good point for sure.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. I was like, they really haven't played like I mean they've played good teams, but they've lost to those good teams. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely interesting to see what they'll do in the play. Because I mean, they'll be a playoff team. It's
And
waiting to see if they'll win their division or not. So,
yeah, and one of the reasons that I'm a little bit more confident in the Seahawks as a team going into the playoffs is just because their defense is so good. I mean, the
yeah,
Vikings, they had a solid defense last year, but it wasn't like Legion of Boom like this
no,
this
no,
level. So, I mean, if Darnold can just not throw 4 or 5 picks, I think they're going to be in a good spot. So, but we'll
right,
see if that
absolutely.
happens or not.
Yeah, absolutely. This next game we're going to talk about, you did not have faith in the Broncos at all, which is kind of wild to me. I think the Broncos are better than you give them credit for, but I'll kind of let you kind of talk about your doubts with Bo Nix and the Broncos here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously their defense is otherworldly as they've shown this entire
Yeah.
year, but the way they're just scraping by is, just really reminiscent of obviously what the Chiefs were last year. The fact that they're, 2 and 3 points here, 2 and 3 points there. I think Bo Nix, he's played well in a couple games this year, but he just hasn't been the Bo Nix that we thought he was going to turn into in his second year. He's still a decent
Mhm.
quarterback, and he's obviously doing enough to get them over the edge. But their offense, they're just every time you expect them to do something in the game, they just don't necessarily get it done, which is fine when you have such a great defense. But that was the main reason when I thought the Chiefs were going to get it done, even though their defense is crazy good. I thought the Chiefs were going to have enough on offense to get it done. And then obviously the Chiefs defense in their own right is very good as well, only keeping them to 22 points. I think it was like 22-19 or something like that.
Yep.
So that's the reason I thought the Chiefs were going to win. And Chiefs, like when they need a win, they usually get it. So the fact that they
Mhm.
lost this game was a pretty big shock to me. But yeah, I guess I was just a little bit surprised, especially in the last 4 or 5 games. Bo Nix just like he throws for like he's like Jalen Hurts. He throws for like 100 yards. Just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
screens, dumping here and there. So, just haven't been super impressed with their offense so far. But obviously, they're leaning on their defense, and their defense has been known to win championships. So we'll see how far it gets
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, facts, and I totally agree. I don't think Bo Nix has put together a complete game yet. Obviously, not all 4 quarters at least, but I mean, he just shows up when it matters. I mean, just it's a good quality to have in your quarterback, like someone that shows up in the fourth quarter when you're down. Obviously, who was it that they came back like historically against? Was it Houston a while ago? What game was that? I can't even remember.
The
They had like a
Broncos this
what's
season.
that? Yeah, this season they had like a crazy fourth quarter comeback on somebody. A decent
Oh,
team too. Was it
it was
Jags? Was it Jags? I can't remember. I need to
no,
look
it
up the
wasn't
schedule.
Jags.
Let's see here.
It
I
wasn't Indy because they ended up losing to them.
They lost to them.
Oh, it was New York, wasn't it?
It was the Giant. Yep,
I
because
think it was New York.
that was the week Dayball lost his job, right? Y-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think it
you're right.
was because they blew that like a third, fourth quarter lead. But yeah, I
And that
mean, he
was
just
still like if New York got that dub, they were kind of going to be in the hunt there for the
yeah,
playoffs, but
yeah.
kind
So
of
that
spiraled
was
after that.
that was another reason they let him go because it was like their season was over essentially after that. Like obviously no one's been eliminated mathematically, but like
Hmm.
basically they're done. So but yeah,
Yeah.
Bo Nix is interesting. Obviously did not take the jump like you said people thought he would, but I
Yeah. I'm
thought
always
they would
just
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I thought they would beat the Chiefs strictly because the Chiefs can't run the ball and they're able to get to the quarterback, which we've seen that Patrick Mahomes, like any quarterback, if you can get to the quarterback, you're going to make it hard. So when you're that one dimensional on offense and the other team's defensive line is that good at getting to the quarterback, I thought it was going to give them problems. And the Chiefs defense isn't as good as we've been accustomed to the last few years. Obviously, a couple years ago, it was like literally like first, like they
Yeah.
dragged him to the Super Bowl. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
But I actually had the Broncos in this one. Like obviously, I didn't say it on the pod or anything, but I definitely had them winning.
Yeah. Yeah. Their running game definitely is a weakness that they've had all year. There's a lot of rumblings around the trade deadline that they were going to get Brees Hall. Apparently, they didn't want to give up a third-round pick for him, which is ludicrous to me, but whatever.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
but apparently, it was interesting. Andy Reid was saying this week that um, apparently they're calling like the run plays, but then he kind of threw Mahomes a little under the bus a little bit and saying that
He's
they just
checking
get
away.
audibled
Oh
out of the
no.
play call. So it's a little bit interesting thing there. But like you said, a lot of pressure on Mahomes. It's going to make his life difficult back there. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs. Obviously, like you said, their defense isn't quite as good. When they got Rasheed Rice back, you kind of thought that they were going to just rattle off 4 or 5 in a row here and just kind of take control of the division, be comfortable in the playoffs, be back, you know, fighting for those first couple seeds. But yeah, definitely a step back for them and everything. But we'll see. It's crisis mode right now for the Chiefs. Like obviously they were
Yeah.
out of the playoffs going into this game if it ended today, but now it just makes it super difficult. They've got Indy, Dallas, Houston coming up, so not easy games at all. So they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Mahomes is going to have to pull something out of the hat here. And another untimely interception by Mahomes, something you don't
Mhm.
see too often. But yeah, definitely struggle bus for the Chiefs this year. But a lot of
Yeah,
people are
he's
here for it. So
dude, I am, and we'll talk about that Colts game here in a little bit. One last game we're gonna get to: Eagles versus Lions. This was a heavyweight battle in the NFC. Dude, Eagles, all the drama that's going on in their locker room, dude, they just continue to plug away and beat good teams. Like
yeah,
obviously the Lions are kind of in this like weird, chaotic like I don't know what to really make of the Lions. Like they're
they're
a
just
good team on
inconsistent.
paper, just super inconsistent. Their defense isn't as dominant as it was. Goff's not playing as good. I think their offensive line isn't as great as it's been in the past few years. But what were your takeaways from this game? Obviously, you don't like watching the Eagles win, but kind of waiting for their downfall, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, obviously the Eagles are another team that's relied heavily on their defense, even though they're a team that definitely does not have to. And that's the thing that bothers me the most about watching the Philadelphia Eagles is like, bro, like what I would give to have the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles with AJ
Facts.
Brown and Devontae Smith and
Oh my
Saquon Barkley
goodness.
and a top 5 offensive line. And they just like they don't do anything on offense. They just like
No.
they dink and dunk, like run it up the middle, get stuffed. Like they never throw the ball more than 15 or 20 yards down the field. Like it's insane to me how they run that offense. And I'm not really sure why, not just the fact that they run it that way, but also that they can't get anything going on offense.
Mhm.
They just seem to like game manage the crap out of the game from the very first minute and just hope
Right.
their defense makes enough stops and gets enough takeaways for them to win the game 9-6 kind of thing, which is not something they need to do at all. Um, but going back to Detroit, yeah, I think they're just a little bit inconsistent this year, in my opinion. I think their defense isn't quite as good, but they are getting some guys back here at the end of the season, which I think will help them a
Yeah.
lot. They are sitting in third place in their division, which is a little bit interesting.
Wild, yeah.
Chicago right now is 7-3 at the top of that one right now, but um,
Yeah,
I don't really have any concerns about them getting into the playoffs, even though, again, similar to the Chiefs, if the playoffs were to end today, they would not be in, which is a little bit surprising
that's
there. But
crazy, yeah.
yeah, especially on offense too. I think the Lions can do enough to get by defensively. Like they still held the Eagles
Mhm.
to not that many points, but again, their offense is super inconsistent. Jameer Gibbs having 39 yards on the day, which is
Yeah.
kind of surprising. That running back duo kind of took a step back this year, as far as I'm concerned, just not
Mhm.
being that 1-2 punch that they were just running all over teams, putting up 40 a game on people. So yeah, I guess just inconsistency is the name of the game here for the Lions on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, especially on the offensive side, the inconsistency shows with like, with their head coach literally taking over play calling duties, and he's a defensive guy, so like in my mind that doesn't make sense. But like obviously losing Ben Johnson, huge loss. Like I mean, going to Chicago and obviously having them first in the division, which is wild. A lot of season left. We'll see how that kind of shakes out. Would be
Yeah,
wild to me if Chicago wins the division after 1 year with Ben Johnson, but I mean, he's
that
that
would be
good, I
crazy.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ben Johnson a lot. I do think that some of their wins were a little bit lucky,
Oh,
but I
definitely.
mean, wins are wins. And the Bears, after so many seasons of heartbreak and just struggling, I think they'll take them any way that they can get them. But um, beating the Vikings at the buzzer was pretty impressive, even though the Vikings
Yeah.
aren't that great. But last thing I'll say about the Eagles too, about like Sirianni.
Mhm.
Bro, like one of the reasons, obviously I'm a Cowboys fan, everybody knows that. And my biases come with that. But I think one of the reasons that the Eagles bother me so much is like Nick Sirianni. Cause like he makes, especially this year, he makes so many boneheaded decisions, like
Yeah.
fourth downs in his own territory, like all this stuff, and he just gets bailed out. And then like Jared Goff will like throw an incompletion. He's like screaming in his face and all this stuff. I was like, dude, you're like the most like coddled coach behind like this stacked team I've ever seen. And yeah, this really bothers me as a Cowboys fan, just seeing him, most punchable face in the world, just keep getting win after win with no credit of his own. But it's all good.
Oh, I love it.
We'll see.
Salty
We'll see that
Santa.
we'll give them their L this week. So
Yeah, salty. That's yeah. That's a good segue into this upcoming week 12. Like we said, a few good games that we're gonna highlight. Obviously, Cowboys versus Eagles, big matchup is one of them that we'll get to. But to start off this week 12 preview, we have to start with literally the game possibly of the season, not because it's going to be that good, but I mean, the dynasty might be falling this weekend. Like, if the Colts can find a way, and I know you dropped some news before we were talking about the pod that might change people's perspective on it, but Chiefs versus Colts. Obviously, the Colts are one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Chiefs looking a little rocky right now. They lose this game, not mathematically out of it by any means. And again, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's the Chiefs, it's Andy Reid. They've done some crazy, crazy things. I wouldn't put it past them to lose this weekend and still find a way into the playoffs because that's just how it is. But with that being said, I need the Colts to beat them this weekend, regardless, because that would just bring joy to me. But you were telling me before we started the pod, Daniel Jones might not be playing this weekend.
yeah, questionable with a calf injury. With
Interesting.
Anthony Richardson still on IR, we'd likely be getting
Lies.
Riley Leonard starting at quarterback. Obviously
Uh,
that could change before 1 p.m. on Sunday, but that's the way things are trending so far. So
dude,
definitely
that's
be a little bit of
crazy.
a change on the Colts side of things, but also maybe not because they may just give it to Jonathan Taylor 30 times now, which would
I
work out great for me. So
yeah, true. Your fantasy team would be eating that day, especially if that's what was happening. But dude, oh my goodness, like that's a good point. Like even if Riley Leonard plays, it's like all right, you just need somebody to hand the ball off. I mean,
yeah,
heck, they'll just direct snap it to Jonathan Taylor and run it that way. But
yeah.
he's been crazy this season. But I think I don't know. I was like half joking, but I was also saying like maybe Goodell got on the phone for the Chiefs and was like, "Hey, Danny, you ain't playing
Yeah.
this weekend, brother. You ain't playing.
I
We
mean, we
need
did
Chief
learn from the
Dynasty to
NBA
keep going."
scandal that those Italian mobs are still around, so you never
I'm just
know.
saying. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna put a pin in it there, and we'll just let it go. But who you
We
got
haven't
winning
seen
this
Tommy
one?
DeVito around in a little while, so I don't know where he's at.
Tommy DeVito. He's doing progressive commercials right now. So
Probably. I did see that. Is he on the team?
I
I know he
think
got released by the Giants, but I don't know where
no,
he's
I
at
think
now.
Patriots picked him up.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right, whatever.
Yeah. Tommy, what do they call him? Tommy
Bro,
Cutlets or
if
whatever?
whatever. Yeah, if I was the Giants, I would just keep him perennially like on third string for them, just because he's like perfect quarterback for New York, dude. Like, a
Dude.
couple guys get hurt, you throw him for a game or two every year just to get the crowd going. Like,
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
love that if
Yeah,
he's
he's
cool with it.
definitely a crowd favorite for sure, for sure. But yeah, who do you got winning this weekend? Colts or Chiefs?
Oh boy, I want to say Colts, but I'm gonna say Chiefs again, just because of the same reasons I said last week. Chiefs are 4-1 at home, despite their 5-5 record. Um, I just think ev- even more so than I was thinking last week, like when I was saying desperation mode for Chiefs, they're gonna win. They're even
Mm,
more in desperation mode. I think if they lose this game, I might come off the belief system a little bit here, just because, like
yeah,
I said, until they're mathematically out of it, I'm still gonna ride with the Chiefs, just because
yeah,
they're the new age Patriots. Like every time you think that the Patriots, oh, I know the Patriots are gonna lose this game, whatever, blah blah, blah, they end up winning
yeah.
it. And I just feel like that's the same way with the Chiefs, even though I've said that a few times this year and they have not won. But I just think that they'll get it done. I think Mahomes will clean up his act a little bit, and Colts' defense is not nearly as good as the Broncos. Obviously, still solid, but
Yeah.
we'll see if the Colts are able to counter with their man coverage. They like to run a lot more against the Chiefs. The Chiefs need to play that Tyquan Thornton guy, bro. Like
Oh my
I was
word,
telling
yeah.
you, he had that one huge catch and then like
Yeah,
immediately ran to the bench and didn't come in for to like the next drive. I'm
I
like,
know.
bro,
Dude,
but
and he was the one holding it down while Rashee Rice was out, Xavier Worthy was
exactly.
out. I
The
mean,
couple wins the Chiefs do have came when he was
it was
playing.
Tyquan Thornton and freaking Hollywood Brown. Like, bro,
Yeah,
just because you get freaking Xavier Worthy back and Rashee Rice, you're like, all right, we're done being a good offense, I guess, or something. I don't
I
know. I mean,
guess.
they're still a really good offense. I honestly thought they were gonna. I thought the Broncos would win, but during the game, I definitely lost hope because I mean, then you watched Kelsey turn back the clock and have that crazy
Yeah,
touchdown where he
that was
like
a nice run.
yeah, I don't know. But I
We'll
got the
see.
Colts. I got the Colts this weekend. I think that might be my Chiefs hate coming through, but I need the Colts to win this weekend. Mikey's actually going to be in town for that, so be fun to
He's gonna be
watch the
down
game with
here.
Mike. Yeah, they're traveling. They just left. They're traveling overnight. They're going to
Wow,
get in tomorrow.
didn't
Um
tell me. See how it is. Whatever. I would love to see Jonathan Taylor run all over them though. That'd be
Dude,
great.
yeah, for you.
MVP season. Let's go.
MVP. That'd be I would love to see a running back win MVP. I'm tired of all these quarterbacks, man. Like
2,000
give it to a
yards,
running
30
back.
touchdowns incoming. Here we go.
Heck, give it to a center. Give it to Creed Humphrey or something. I don't know. No. But anyways, moving on to another big game, huge rivalry, one of the biggest ones in all of the NFL. Eagles and Cowboys. Obviously, it's been firmly stated on the podcast that Sam hates the Eagles because obviously his heart lies with Dallas. But how do you see this game going down? I think this game's going to be closer than it probably would have been a couple weeks ago without a couple of these defensive trades that Jerry pulled off.
Yeah, definitely going to look a lot different than the first game of the season, and also going to look a lot different than even the Cowboys did a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago. I came on the podcast, I think, before our Raiders game and said there's a huge opportunity for the Cowboys defense to look a lot differently than it did before our bye week. Not just in getting Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson, but also picking up, not picking up, but obviously a couple guys returning from injuries. Demarion Overshown, who had a huge rookie year last year before he got hurt. He had a really big game against the Raiders this past week. And then also Siobhan Revel, I think his name is. He's a
Mm.
corner that is a rookie this year, but he played in his first game for us this year, and he did really, really well. Deron Bland played a lot better than he has really all season. A lot of couple pass breakups. One of them should have been an interception, but defense is playing way, way, way better just across the
Oh
board,
yeah.
which is all we really need to start winning some games here. Obviously, the Raiders are near the bottom of the NFL as far as offense and defense, but they still have some good pieces there, and we were able obviously to stifle the run. And obviously the Raiders offensive line is not that great at all. Feel bad for Jetty. He's averaging like 1 yard before contact, which shows how bad
Yeah.
that offensive line is. But I do have a lot of hope for the
It's
Cowboys at
terrible.
least being in this game. Obviously our
Mhm.
offense, Pickens is turning into a little bit of wide receiver one there. CeeDee Lamb doesn't get his act together. So he's been putting up massive, massive numbers, 150 yards, one or two touchdowns, I think, against the Raiders. So
Mhm.
he's been killing it for us. I have no, I don't think the offense is gonna stutter at all.
Mm.
The Eagles is gonna be a
No.
huge test, though. I didn't mean like in this game specifically, but the offense is not what we have to worry about.
Yeah,
But
no.
it'll be interesting to see how we match up against that Eagles defense, who's just been, closing people out all year, like Rams and the Lions and all these offenses that are supposed to be high power. They play the Eagles and they put up like 10 points a game. So we'll see how our offense kind of deals with that. But obviously we did pretty well against them in the first game. So if we can put up 24 points against them like we did in the first game, or 20 points, I think it was, we might be in a good spot just with how their offense has been playing recently.
Yeah, your defense is much improved, which is obviously the Achilles heel of your guys' season, honestly. Obviously you haven't been eliminated from the playoffs. Some people
We're in the
are
hunt. We're the last team in the hunt right now.
I mean, you're in the hunt right now. You got a little bit of a murderer's row coming up. I mean, Chiefs are the Chiefs, obviously. Again, we're not going to bet against them until we see otherwise.
But if the
But
Chiefs
obviously,
lose this week and then play us,
yeah. I mean,
boy,
that's going to be. I mean,
But we
I
got
mean,
to
this
win this
week
week
is
too. So
yeah. I mean that sets up a crazy Thanksgiving Day
mm,
game. Like
sign me
very,
up.
very, very juicy. I know at the beginning of the season when everybody was kind of dogging you guys, they were like, "Oh man, get rid of that Thanksgiving Day game." Like, because everyone was. I mean, you assume that the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. They're going to be like this crazy good team. They're going to be like strolling to the Super Bowl, but obviously it's been a little different this season. So I mean, that's going to end up being like a especially if like you guys lose this weekend and they lose this weekend, it's gonna be like that's a must win game for either one of you guys just to keep any sort of playoff hopes alive. But then you got
Yeah.
Lions, and then obviously Vikings or Vikings, whatever. So I mean, honestly, if you can beat the Eagles, you guys can beat the Chiefs. Lions can be beatable. It all depends. Like you guys come in with momentum, beat the Lions. I see you guys beating the Vikings, beat the Chargers, and then you got Commanders and Giants left. Like, bro, I mean, are you
Yeah.
saying there's a chance? Are you
I
saying
mean,
there's a
easier said
chance?
than done, but yeah, there's definitely a
That's
shot
true.
there for sure. I think
Yeah.
I'd give us at least 3 wins right now. Commanders are down with Jaden out. Giants basically punted on the season. Vikings don't believe in them anymore. So if we can scrape out 1, maybe 2 wins out of the Chargers, Lions, Chiefs, and Eagles, like we'll be right there. So
Yeah. I
I have
mean,
high hopes.
dude, that'd be absolutely wild if you guys made the playoffs. Like, that'd be crazy, man. I kind of hope you guys do. That'd be cool to see, especially for Dak. I like Dak as a player and a person, so it'd be good to see him win.
Gotta be crazy not to
Um,
like him.
it'd be crazy not to like him.
Yeah. Such a
I
great
mean,
guy.
the whole entire city of Philly probably hates his guts, but that's all right.
Well,
But
they hate everybody's guts, so it's
yeah,
okay.
even their own team sometimes.
Yeah.
So, the last game we'll touch on Vikings Packers. Obviously, these two teams very different for multiple reasons. Obviously, the Packers are, one week they're the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. The next week, who even knows what they are? Obviously, they have a pretty good defense. Obviously, adding Micah Parsons at the beginning of the season, before the season started. Vikings are in complete shambles at the quarterback position. Obviously, Carson Wentz is out for the season. With he had shoulder surgery that will end his season. But dude, stuff coming out about JJ is just not looking good. So apparently, I mean, you obviously were tapped into this, but me being the one that's oblivious to everything, find out today that Wentz was playing with a torn labrum. So it's like, dude shouldn't have even been out there anyways, and JJ's sitting on the sideline with a twisted ankle, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, he's not ready to go." Carson Wentz ends his season like,
Bad
"Oh yeah,
look.
JJ's ready. JJ can go. We're good," and has not looked good at all.
No.
We were talking before the pod that we're about to punt on JJ, obviously, because it's not going well in Minnesota for him for sure.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, I was on here before the season even started saying
You
wasn't a
were pretty
quarterback
strong
in the
with
league
that.
that I did not believe in. Obviously, famous words at this point now. But I didn't.
Oh
There wasn't a
man,
quarterback I didn't believe in less than JJ McCarthy, and that's kind of come true. He's thrown at least 1 interception in every game he's played so far. Most games he's thrown at least 2 interceptions. Can't really win like that. If you see his throws too, bro, like they're not even close. Like even his incompletions, like the game we watched over at Pete's house, Vikings, Baltimore, just skying throws, man, left and right, like just yeah, not good outside the pocket, not being able to put it on guys in the chest. Like it's frustrating to watch, and thankful I'm not a Vikings fan because that would just drive me up a
nah,
wall. But um,
yeah,
I can see Justin Jefferson getting really frustrated. I mean, week in week out, you're seeing him throw his helmet around and just obviously a lot of that's just frustration. But he's got to be like, man, can I just get a quarterback in Minnesota? Like, come on, man. So yeah,
yeah, for
definitely
real.
not good vibes over there for JJ McCarthy and company right now. Had one good win against the Lions a couple weeks ago. You're like, okay, is this the turn? But then he just kind of
Yeah.
reverts back to what he was doing beforehand. So I got the Packers in this one. I think the Packers start to get some consistency and start winning some games here late on, and hopefully make a push for the division.
Yeah, as I say, a bigger game for the Packers. Obviously, the Vikings are like kind of really behind the 8 ball in their division. But if the Packers could win this one, it'd go a long way to kind of snatch the first that first spot from the Bears, which I still can't get over. The Bears first in their division, dude. Did any one of us have them in like second? I think we all kind of assumed it was going to be
No,
like
we all had him
Packers.
last, bro.
Yeah, it was all like Packers, Vikings. Who else is in their division? Is it the Packers, Vikings? It's
Detroit.
not what Detroit. That's right. Um, yeah, we all thought it was gonna be like Detroit, Packers, Vikings, right?
Yeah,
Something like
I
that.
had Green Bay winning, Detroit second, Soda third, and then the Bears last.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Packers are just such a weird team. Like they really go like as Jordan Love goes, the Packers go. Like if he has a good
For
game,
sure.
they're going to win that game and they could blow any team out. They're such a weird team. Like you don't want to see them in the playoffs cuz like you don't know what version of Jordan Love you're going to get. Like you could get the easiest game where he's throwing the ball to the other team or you could get
Yeah.
Jordan Love throwing for like 300 yards and 3 TDs like MVP Jordan
And
Love like
yeah, and they also play down to their opponents a lot. Like two of their losses
yeah,
are against the
they're
Panthers and the
young.
Browns. Like the
Yeah,
Browns, bro.
the
Are
Browns,
are the
dude.
Packers the Browns' only win right now? Like that's insane.
It
So
honestly might be. Shador's starting this weekend. They might get another win against Las Vegas. You know, it's
yeah,
Shador
Shador
time,
throwing a bunch of picks and getting sacked. That's his MO.
dude. Did you see all the stuff about him not being with the first team at all? Like even
Yeah,
as the
they
backup
threw him out
quarterback,
there.
and they just
Yeah,
threw
I
him
saw
out there,
that.
and all the offensive lines like we've never heard his cadence ever.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Dude,
bro,
so that like makes me feel bad for him a little bit. But then all that goes out the window when you see him trot out there for his first huddle everywhere and he's like hyping up like he's like, come
yeah,
on, come on. I'm like, you're about to take your first snap in the NFL ever and you still
yeah,
can't be like not arrogant.
yeah,
And then like two snaps later, he's taking his sack and then like people are flexing on him with his own celebration. And then three snaps after that, he throws a pick. It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's really hard to
I
root
love
for him
it.
when it's just like, okay, dude, like we
Ah,
do feel
so
bad for you
funny.
because the way the Browns have handled you, like, yeah,
Hmm.
that, like if it was anybody else too, like we would feel bad as
Agreed.
well. But like, you just don't take your lumps. You don't shut up. You don't just like sit in the back and wait for your opportunity. It's like as soon as any daylight is shown, you're just like, yeah, I'm the dude. I'm the dude.
Right?
Like bro, you haven't done anything. Wait until you do something. Like you're
Oh,
just making
yeah.
your like I get having confidence, but that's past confidence. Like I wouldn't even say that's arrogance. It's just stupidity at this point. Like what are we doing? But
I would
anyways,
have
that was a little
loved it was
yeah,
just
good.
after that sack and then the pick, he just went right back down to the bench and they just started
Oh,
their like
word.
fourth stringer or whatever
They're
and
like,
just put a wide
Gabe,
receiver in a quarterback.
Gabriel, you got knocked out. We need you back in, bud. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you're playing through this. We'll take the fine. We'll take the fine. It's all right.
So
Oh my
funny.
word.
So funny. But yeah, I got the
But
pack in this one.
you got the pack in this one. Yeah, that was a little bit of a tangent. I got the Packers as well. Like we said, we don't believe in JJ at all. I'm not ready to say that he's a bust quite yet because he's only played 6 games in the NFL. But
Yeah.
I mean,
One last thing I'll add too is like at the beginning of the year in the episode that will never see the light of day, unfortunately at this point, Jared was saying is like, oh, all we need is for JJ to be a game manager. Like that's all we really need because our defense is solid. We got the pieces and stuff and all that. And like he can't even game
can't
manage
even
right
do
now.
that,
So
bro.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
unfortunately he's got to get it together. But one little wrinkle too is Josh Jacobs being out for this game. So he's a big piece to
Ooh,
the Packers. So might be a
that is
little
huge.
game changer there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be really huge because, like we said, don't know what kind of Jordan Love you're gonna get, and if Jordan Love's playing really bad, but he has to throw the ball over the field, like, I mean, it could play into the Vikings' hands. So
Yeah,
again, kind of a interesting game for sure.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll get into a little update about your Steelers. I kind of gave mine about my Cowboys a little bit, but
Oh
talk to
boy.
us about Rodgers' slight break in his hand there, in his left hand, I will say, but still in his hand. He might He's in jeopardy of missing their game this weekend. Maybe Mason Rudolph starting. We'll see.
Yeah, your boy Rudolph, huh? Little
Yes,
Oklahoma
sir.
State alum. You
He
showed me
came
those
into the
stats.
other game, played really well, got a dub.
He
So
did. He was throwing the ball over, and actually, a lot of people on some of the big media outlets were saying that the offense looked better with him. So, I'll take their word for it. I'll take your word for it because you were throwing some stats at me, and I was like, "Oh, those look pretty good." And also,
should
if Rodgers is nursing like a partial break, dude, he already doesn't want to get hit. So, like, I mean, forget any sort of explosive plays. Like, he's just gonna be dinking and dunking and hitting the ball off the entire game. So, I could see where our offense would definitely take a hit in that situation for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really changes much. I mean, Rodgers has been playing well, but I don't think he's been getting the most out of the offense. So if Rudolph can come in and make our offense look better and our defense can step up, we're kind of a frisky team that you don't want to play. Obviously, we've beaten some good teams this past season. We've also lost to teams that we
I
definitely
was
shouldn't
about
have
to
lost
say
to.
the
So,
exactly.
I mean, and we're kind of letting the Ravens right back into the division kind of division talk, and I think they're only like a game or two behind us.
A
So
game, yeah.
every game is huge. I mean, beating the Bengals this past weekend was huge. Shouldn't have lost to them. What was it, like 2 weeks ago when freaking Joe Flacco dropped like 400 yards on us? But
Yeah.
it, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we'll make the playoffs again. I think that was kind of the expectation, but like, we always make the playoffs, but can we win that? Can we win that wild card game? I don't know. With how it's looking, with how our defense is, like all the good teams in the league
How
have
confident are
crazy
you
good
about the
defense.
playoffs right now?
Making it?
Yeah.
I think we make it. I don't know. That's what I was pulling up. I was trying to remember what I was pulling up. I was gonna pull up the schedule just to see
I
what we
think
have
it
left.
I think it's going to be tight, like 6-4. I think you really needed that other game against the Bengals to be at 7-3 because
Yeah.
now you got Bears, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins. That'll be a dub probably, and then Lions, Browns, and Ravens again to finish out the season.
Yeah. I
That is
mean,
a tough stretch right there.
yeah, I'm banking on splitting with the Ravens because we usually do.
Yep, that's true.
Bears are playing really well, so that's this weekend's gonna be an interesting game.
Yep,
I'm gonna
I
say we
agree.
beat them. I'm just gonna say we beat them.
All right.
Bills, I think we lose because we don't have enough of a run game, and the Bills just give up so many rushing yards. But I just don't think we'll be able to take advantage of it, and our defense is not all that great right now. I think we get. I'm gonna say we lose to the Ravens the first round because I think we're gonna need to beat them to maybe get in or something like that. So,
Yeah.
like, after that, I mean, obviously beat the Dolphins. Maybe, I don't know, like I said, we've lost to
Ravens
some
might be
teams we
resting their
shouldn't.
starters last game of the season because they have the division
True,
rounds off.
true. So, I mean, we beat the Browns for sure, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Like, again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, we're not great, so I can't even say we're gonna beat I mean, Miami blew Buffalo out the other week. Buffalo's definitely better than we are, so I don't
Yeah.
know. It's an interesting road
Any given
for a
Sunday.
Steelers fan. Any given Sunday, that is
I
definitely the way it goes.
I think you turned to Mason Rudolph. Obviously, I'm an Oklahoma State fan. I'm going to say that anyway. But like, what does Aaron Rodgers really give you that Mason Rudolph can at this point? And I think obviously I've always followed it because I've kind of been a fan of his or whatever. But he has never looked bad when he's come into play. Like obviously he's not elite or anything like that. But like he will get you dubs. Like his like career win loss is like pretty solid as a quarterback when he's come in and had to play. So,
Yeah.
um, especially if Rodgers isn't at 100%, like I don't know. I just like I was such a believer in Rodgers, especially at the beginning of the season, and he's been fine, but it's just I don't know. Time for him to retire, I think.
Yeah, this definitely should be his last season. Yeah, and again, we're gonna be just good enough to make the playoffs, but and just good enough not to have a high draft pick, and just good enough not to get a quarterback that's gonna come in. And I'm still so freaking pissed that we did not get Dart. I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
forever and ever, especially if he starts like if he takes New York to a place that I think him and Cam will, which I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I'm saying like a good team that's going to be competitive every week. I'm going to just always go back to the fact that we had freaking Aaron Rodgers in our back pocket, and Aaron probably told him, you can't take a quarterback in this round, this round, this round. And we
Hey man,
listened to him.
you got Will Howard.
I know. I would love nothing more for him to be like a diamond in the rough, but I mean, I don't think that's the case. Like, he went to Ohio State. Ohio State quarterbacks don't usually pan out. I mean, the best one we've had so far is like CJ Stroud. Like, and
Yeah.
he hasn't stayed healthy. He had that really good rookie
Justin
season.
Fields.
Exactly, my point exactly. They look so good in college because it's freaking wide receiver U, and they got everybody and their mother to throw to in the Big Ten, and so it's
Yeah.
like they're just never that good. Like, I think the quarterback this year for Ohio State's better than Will Howard was, and Will Howard won a freaking national championship. Like, I don't
Fair.
know, bro. I don't know. He's like a JJ McCarthy, but I think JJ's better than him. Like, that's just how it is.
Then Will
But
Howard?
yeah, absolutely.
Guess we'll say.
I guess we will. But anyways, that was kind of long-winded, but obviously we have some good games to recap and some good games to look forward to. But we're gonna switch gears to some I didn't even have the doc up. I'm like losing my mind here. Yeah, we're gonna switch gears to college football here in just a moment.
Getting into a little college ball. We're getting down to the business end of the college football season. College football rankings are now coming out every week. People getting mad about their rankings every single week, which you love to see, but you know that the college football playoff is right around the corner. A couple big games to talk about. We'll get into that in just a second with the college football rankings. We'll talk about first. Pretty standard rankings for the top 5, 6, 7 teams, but a lot of people were up in arms about Notre Dame coming in above Miami. Just because Notre Dame had a loss to Miami earlier in the year. They do
That's
have
crazy.
I think 1 or 2 common opponents in there, and Miami had actually fared a little bit better than Notre Dame had. So yeah, that's the biggest I guess, gripe about the rankings so far. I'm sure there'll be others, but what do you got to say about Notre Dame kind of coming in there? Maybe a little big brand recognition kind of thing coming in, but Miami's a pretty big brand too. So what do you got to say about it?
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. They're obviously not looking at resume because if they were, Miami would be in there. Like, how can you have a team that, like, basically you are neck and neck when it comes to resume, and the only thing that one team has over the other one is that they've beaten them? Like, how are they not above them? Obviously, they're kind of more going off of eye test, I guess you'd say, like just what team has looked better. And like, if you look at the teams side by side, stats out of it, you're like, oh yeah, Notre Dame's definitely been the better team, but like, I mean, like you said, Miami has the head to head, which is just wild that they're the last team on the outside. I mean, you got freaking I know Utah's been good, but like you got the likes of like Utah in there. Other than that, obviously everything's pretty solid. But yeah, that Notre Dame and Miami one is it's a little suspect if you ask me. Not that I know too much
Yeah.
about college football, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just interesting, man.
I think where the I guess the discrepancy lies is like in the quality of their losses. Like Notre Dame, they lost to Miami, who was ranked 10 at the time, and then they lost to Texas A&M, who was ranked 15th at the time, but now obviously Texas A&M is ranked top 3 in the country right now.
Freaking
And
wagon.
they've run the table against everybody else. Whereas Miami, they lost to Louisville, who's now unranked, and then SMU, who's also unranked. So I think just the quality of loss, if you want to put it that way, is probably what it came down to if I had to bet. Their common opponent is NC State, and Miami beat them 41-7, and Notre Dame beat them 36-7, so a difference of 5 points there. So I'm kind of fine, I guess, with how it shook out. I don't think that the margins are that wide where you can just you can just leave kicking and screaming, but obviously people are going to do that anyway. Like Miami's still technically in the playoff if it were to end today. So, just the difference, I guess, is getting a bye or getting better seeding or something like that. But Notre Dame would host a playoff game, I believe, if it ended today. So maybe
Wild.
that's a little bit more of the discrepancy as well. But yeah, I don't really have a huge problem with how the college football ranking is currently set up. Um, I think there's a lot to play for as far as like conference championships and stuff. Like when I was listening to Pate earlier today, like I feel like the conference championship games are really becoming something you don't necessarily want to qualify for. Because like if you're in Alabama, for example, you're on the bubble, like you're not gonna want to go to a conference championship game and lose and then get knocked out of the playoff. So
Right.
it's interesting to see the jockeying and seeing if you want to go to a conference championship game or not, and if the committee is going to dock you points or knock you out because you lose a championship game. Obviously, SMU last year they were in the playoff basically the whole year, lost to Clemson, then they squeaked in at the end. So that's an
Yeah.
example of it not necessarily coming back to bite them, but definitely could when all these teams are just kind of jockeying to one or two losses there. And then, if they lose the conference championship game, if it, knocks them out or not, when you got other teams like BYU sitting at 9 or 10-1, Utah coming up, Miami's right there as well. So it's kind of interesting to see just the chaos that happens late on in the year now with the playoff and everything that's involved.
Yeah. Do you think if Notre Dame wins out, it stays this way? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
if both teams win out, I mean,
If
I
both
guess
teams win out,
Notre Dame beat USC, but like you said, they lost to Miami, lost to Texas A&M, and then like I'm trying to look at common opponents. Notre
if
Dame's not technically ACC, but they play a majority ACC
yes,
schedule.
I mean,
But
if they both win their last two games, I think there would be no reason for Miami to go ahead of them. I mean, Notre Dame plays Syracuse and Stanford. They're probably going to
yeah,
win both of those games by quite a bit, and then Pitt and Virginia Tech. Was just ranked, but
mm-hmm.
they got blown out over the weekend, and then Virginia Tech isn't quite as good as people were hoping that they would be this year, sitting at 3-7. So not great wins that really move the needle one way or the other. So I'd keep Notre Dame ahead of them if I were me. I mean, if Miami was ahead, you'd make the same case for them. It's like, why would you move them back based on like these two, like just,
Yeah,
lower level wins? So like, there's no reason for Miami to pip ahead of them if they win both their last games, in my opinion.
yeah. Just don't lose to Syracuse this weekend, Notre Dame. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Syracuse
That'd be
had that
bad.
huge upset last year when they beat Miami for I think
Yeah,
Clemson to go to the title last year.
yeah. And
And
they
that was
knocked them out of the playoff.
yeah, and Cuse had nothing to play for really at the end of the year. So
What a great game. I freaking love that. That was so last year was the most frustrating as as a Syracuse football fan because like we were like so good for most of the year, but then we were just blowing games in the ACC like we shouldn't, like to Boston College. We blew a game to Stanford. We blew a game to Stanford that we should have beat. Like if we win those
mhm.
two games, Pitt as well. We lost to Pitt last season when we shouldn't have. I think that Pitt was the game where freaking uh what's his name? What was our quarterback's name? It was like
McCord, bro.
McCord. Yeah, he had five INTs, bro,
Yes,
in that
dude.
game. Like if he doesn't do that and we beat Pitt and we beat Stanford and we beat Boston College, dude, like we had midway through the season, we were getting college playoff like looks, to be honest, and then just absolutely wet the bed. But then whoop de doo, we beat Miami. Like good. We're not in, so I guess we don't let them get in. I don't know. It was so
Yeah, I mean
frustrating. Like,
that was a
uh,
big culture win for Fran Brown last year, but I do remember vividly that Stanford game because like late on, you guys played like press man coverage against their
yeah,
like guy who'd been burning you all game, like easy like first down after that, and it's kind of game
uh,
over. But
just
yeah,
absolutely
y'all
no
had
thought
a
process.
solid. Yeah, I had to hear McCord for Heisman from Petey all season long last year, and he's like, oh, now he's going to be an NFL quarterback, and now he's sitting third
Can't even
string
see
or
the
whatever.
field for the
Yes.
Eagles. I mean, Jalen Hurts is obviously QB1. He's QB3, I think. Is he even with them still? He probably
I
got
don't know,
cut
but
or something
McCord
like that.
had. I mean, he was balling like
Yeah,
350 yards like every single outing.
he was setting some
He's
records for sure.
he was playing some Syracuse records. He's playing well for sure, but
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Stanford and what, Boston College or whatever you said?
Yeah, Pitt, Boston College, and Stanford were the games that we freaking blew. We should have won, but we blew. But we beat Miami, so apparently the season was great. Whatever. Freaking ACC football. Speaking of ACC football, James Franklin is back in college football. He is taking
Yeah.
the Virginia Tech job. I think you said after the season is over. Obviously,
Yeah.
Virginia Tech has nothing to play for other than maybe playing a little bit of upsetter this they play Miami next weekend. This weekend.
This
Play
weekend,
Miami
yeah.
this weekend. Like, I mean, if they found a way to beat them, then it really wouldn't be close between Notre Dame. But how do you see this going? Obviously, they're probably not going to win a national championship because I mean, if you can't do it at Penn State, you ain't doing anything at Virginia Tech. Like, I mean, talk
Yeah.
about the money discrepancy in like going from Big Ten Penn State to like ACC Virginia Tech, like mid-table ACC. Like, it's definitely going to be different for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing I think when you compare the money that Penn State has and the recruiting and everything that they have. Like they're kind of that third team behind like, Ohio State and Michigan and in the Big Ten as far as, recruits and level of program and all that. So if you can't quite get to the mountaintop at Penn State, I don't know how going to Virginia Tech is gonna, that's not a position that you go to. You're like, okay, this is a step up. Which
Yeah,
obviously
no.
got fired, but I think he's going to make them better. I think he'll attract some better prospects there. I think he's a good enough coach to get them, in a position where they're at least, fighting for bowl games, maybe even like a conference championship
Yeah,
type of thing. He's a good coach, but as far as that national prominence goes and the amount of money that you have to compete with the big boys,
it ain't
I don't
there.
think I don't think it's quite there for Virginia Tech. I don't think James Franklin, he's not like a Nick Saban or anything like that where he's
No,
just gonna get
no.
everybody to buy in. So
Yeah, I definitely think the recruitment will be up, obviously, having a name like that. ACC is wide open, though. I mean, like you said, he could be making them viable in the ACC. Obviously, no national. You know, hopefully we're wrong. That'd be a crazy story if James Franklin's taken Virginia Tech to a national championship game and couldn't get it done at Penn State. That would say more about Penn State than him. But obviously, that's probably not in the cards for them. But ACC wide open. Like we thought, especially me, the idiot that picked freaking Clemson to win the national championship game, thought they were absolutely going to run the ACC. And I
and
mean,
Clemson are bowl eligible now with the win at Furman this weekend. So
hey, oh my goodness.
solid pick.
They had a good win against Louisville. Louisville was playing really good, and they were able to beat Louisville last weekend. So,
Yeah. I
keeping
can't
their bowl
remember if
hopes
my
alive.
national title pick was Georgia or Texas.
It
I
was
think I picked Tech.
Texas.
Okay.
You
And
did.
I picked Georgia to win the SEC because I picked
You
one of them to
did.
win the SEC and one of them to pick win the national title. So
Yeah, our national title picks aren't looking too great at the moment. I mean, what's Texas? They're like 17th in the CFP ranking right now.
yeah, they're hanging around, but they kind of need some help. Obviously, with 3
Yeah.
losses, the thing that's going to cause the most chaos is if they beat number 3 Texas A&M in the last game of the season.
Yeah,
Like
that'll.
that's gonna
If
be
they
big
do that,
time.
who do you take out? I mean, I don't know much about Utah, but I would just see them if they beat A&M, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, we'll throw them in 12." Like I could see that. Like there's a world where that happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends what happens ahead of them. Like,
Yeah.
if Georgia Tech, loses to Georgia on the last week of the season, does Vandy win it, against Tennessee in the last week of the season? So, does Alabama fall out and lose another game? Like,
Yeah.
is BYU, wet the bed and not do as well at the end of the season like they've been known to do? So
True.
there's just a lot of chaos that could
Yeah.
happen.
Well, I think they would hop Vandy because they've beaten Vandy, so Texas would hop Vandy. I think they would hop USC because USC has had like a weird season, and then they would probably pick SEC over ACC. So like Georgia Tech, I feel like so it's doable. Like if they win that big game against Texas A&M, like I could see them
Yeah.
hopping all 3 of them
The
or
tough thing is
4.
they already have 3 losses, so, like,
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
putting them
Definitely
over
need.
anybody with 1 or 2 losses is gonna be tough, but
Definitely can't lose a game and then and then lose to A&M. Like you gotta win out and beat A&M to even have any sort of a chance. And
I mean, yeah.
like you alluded to, they need some serious help.
Yeah.
Gonna highlight one of the games this past weekend that was a really, really good game. Oklahoma versus Alabama. Again, I was working all day, so I wasn't able to watch this game. But Sammy, I did see the upset, and I did see that everyone was pretty hyped about it, me included. Because again, I don't care if Nick Saban's there or not. Like, dude, watching Alabama lose is always a good day. But anyways, what were your thoughts on
Same.
this game, and were you as hyped as I was to see them go down?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Inject that into my veins for sure.
Absolutely.
Love to see whenever the Tide lose. I feel like that's just how I'm going to be for the rest of my life until they're like 3-9 every year. Like maybe I'll start feeling
Absolutely.
bad about them, but whatever. Yeah, Oklahoma, they kind of jumped out to an early lead. I think it was 10-0 at one point. Um, Alabama started coming back, and then they kept turning the ball over at the wrong time. I think there was a fumble in there, untimely interception by Ty Simpson, which we haven't really been accustomed to seeing this year. He's just really good at taking care of the ball. John Mateer didn't throw a ton in this game, but he was able to get some good completions when it mattered. They really were leaning on their run game and really their defense. That's kind of been the Steelers, the Sooners' mo for a little while now. John Mateer not really being quite what he was before the thumb injury, and he can't even really
Yeah.
run either. Like he ran for a touchdown, but I think he was limited to like under 30 yards, I want to say, on the ground,
Mm.
which is not what we were seeing early on. So really leaning on their defense, which came in clutch for them. Like I said, several turnovers that came in clutch for them. And again, like I said, Alabama, whenever you think that the momentum was kind of going to their side, Sooners defense would make a big stand and get it right back. So love to see that for the Sooners here.
Yeah, like you were saying, Mateer just kind of after that injury, not the same player. I mean, he was getting Heisman shouts all season long. He was playing like that too. Obviously one of the Heisman favorites before he went down with that injury, but like we alluded to when we started this part of the podcast, like always will forever love watching Alabama lose. To wrap up the college football portion of the podcast, just gonna highlight one more game. We kind of alluded to it, but Georgia shellacked Texas. This is kind of the bigger reason that Texas dropped as far as they did in the CFP ranking. But yeah, I mean, Georgia, like you said, your SEC pick at the beginning of the season, kind of looking like that in this game against Texas.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I'm a big Gunnar Stockton fan, and he's kind of just been known as just kind of making big throws when they need to,
All
not being a
reliable.
huge stat sheet guy or anything like that. But he kind of came alive in this one, 4 touchdowns through the air, adding another one on the ground. So he's kind of making a statement there. He's kind of been hanging around for the Heisman, and depending on what he does
I've
these
seen
last
that.
couple
Yeah.
games. Couple Heisman moments. This is definitely a Heisman moment for him coming up big against
Yeah.
a top 10 ranked Texas Longhorns team. So love to see that for him. Longhorns just never able to get it going offensively. Archman not playing terribly, but again had another interception in the game. Not really able to get the ground game going either, which is kind of where they were relying upon when Arch was not doing as good during the season, but not being able to get that back up and running. CJ Baxter, he was dealing with some injuries. He was kind of supposed to be the guy that was going to come back and give them a spark on the ground, but was not to be at the end of the day for the Longhorns, and they have another loss on their schedule. Like we were talking about, may come back to hurt them as far as the college football playoff is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows how good Georgia is because Texas, the biggest thing that they've been able to rely on all season was their defense. That was really the reason that they were any of the games that they were playing. Obviously, their offense with Arch Manning struggling was not doing well for most of the season. He kind of came into his like started taking strides here near the
Yeah,
end of
he's
the season,
developed for sure.
but yeah,
Um,
not
I
not
think
quite what they need.
I think Texas's season looks completely different. Obviously, this goes without saying, but looks completely different without that loss to Florida. Like
Mm,
if they win against Florida, they would have come in on like a 8-9 game win streak, probably ranked in the top 5, with their only loss being at Ohio State, number 1 team in the country. So yeah, I think their season looks a lot different if they don't lose that game to Florida. But you could also say the same thing about some of their other wins that they've had, like 16-13 against Kentucky, 34-31 against Vandy. So a couple of squeakers there too. But I definitely think Arch Manning is going to be good. Like maybe not number one pick in the NFL good, but like he just was never given a chance to develop. And I think that he's definitely shown some flashes of what he could be, and just like throwing to guys before they get there, like before they even turn and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that's going to translate to the NFL. And I think if he's, I think it kind of goes without saying he's going to come back for another year at this
Yeah.
point. So we'll see what his senior year looks like.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll do better next year, and staying a year in college will definitely benefit him. I think he'll develop way more being the guy instead of going and sitting on an NFL bench. At like third on the depth chart or something. Sure, you'll learn behind an NFL quarterback, but he has plenty of those as uncles to learn during the off season with. So I don't think that's not gonna be a thought in his mind to come back to Texas next season. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to some international soccer to wrap up the podcast, and then we're gonna get out of here. So stay tuned.
Hopping over the pond for a little football action. As promised, we're going to talk a little World Cup qualifiers. Absolutely riveting stuff. I was able to track most of it, watch a lot of it, with a lot of it happening a little bit later in the afternoon. So that's always a little bit more helpful. First one we're going to start out with was Scotland. Their World Cup journey was not necessarily in jeopardy, but the way the qualification works in your group, number one goes directly to the World Cup, and then number two goes to a playoff, which is kind of yet to be determined. You have to play some extra games to get into it, yada yada. They were pretty solidly in that second position going into their game against Denmark, who was sitting in first place. Really back and forth game. Looked like they were gonna not be able to get the dub on the day, with Denmark coming back twice to equalize to be 2-2 going into the 90th minute, and then Kieran Tierney with an absolute banger in the 93rd minute to lift Scotland up to a 3-2 lead and into the World Cup directly, and then they were able to tack on a goal at the end as well to make it 4-2 when the goalie was up, and they were able to get a good counterattack. But that ended up lifting them into the first place position, winning against Denmark 4-2 on the day. Absolutely love to see Scott McTominay and company coming up huge.
Yes,
I
sir.
feel like I've been talking about them so much with McTominay just being like every game he plays for international for Scotland, he scores in, which is absolutely insane. But love to see them get into the World Cup here for the first time in a couple decades, I think.
Yeah, since '98, dude, absolutely wild. Did you see the goal that Scott McTominay scored?
Yes.
Friggin' prime
Love it.
Ronaldo bicycle kick, dude. Like
Right.
this
Yeah.
dude has the world at his fingertips, and life after United. It's kind of like when players in the NFL leave the Jets, they just thrive. That's kind of what's going on. Like they leave Manchester United and they just thrive. Obviously, he's coming off of that great season with Napoli. Last season in Serie A, he was Serie A MVP. They won the Scudetto. It was just just a great season. Now he gets to kind of cap off that. I mean, it's a new season, but kind of cap off everything since leaving Man U with taking his team to the World Cup and playing in the World Cup this summer in America nonetheless, which dude, I am like I got to figure out what to sell like to get to the World Cup, bro. I'm going to at least one game. I don't even care if it's freaking I don't know, San Marino against freaking Uzbekistan or whatever, bro, just to go to a World Cup game. Say you went to
Well,
one.
San Marino's out because Romania beat them 7-1, so
Oh, frick them.
you won't be seeing that. But this is a
Tough,
conversation
tough,
for a
tough.
different pod. But the way that the ticket system works for the World Cup tickets is just absolutely demoralizing and stupid,
Yeah.
and just prices out normal people. But
So
it is what it
stupid.
is. What are you going to do?
Yep.
Corporatized sports. But moving on to the next team, Ireland. Ireland's coming into
Let's
this
go.
international break firmly in third spot with very, very little chance to go through. But they rattle off a couple huge dubs to get to the second place spot. So technically not quite in yet, but still give themselves a chance to go through. They start off the international break by winning it 2-0 against a Portugal squad that lost Ronaldo to a red card. I think we touched on that just a little bit maybe in the last pod, but didn't really
Oh
harp on
yeah.
it too much. And then obviously that gave them a shot, but they still had to get past Hungary, who's been very solidly in that second position, really for most of the qualification process. And Hungary scored first with a 4th-minute opening goal. Troy Parrott is the man to remember in this one. He got a hat trick. He came back with a equalizing penalty. Hungary pulled back once again with a 37th minute goal, and then Ireland scoring the 80th, and then the 96th minute. Absolutely insane stuff. All the reaction
Dang.
videos I'm seeing from Ireland, bro, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's just incredible stuff. It's kind of reminds me of when Landon Donovan scored that one goal for us in
Oh my
2010.
word.
All the
Yes.
videos that were coming out of there. So Ireland upset Hungary, send them packing, eliminated from the World
Wild.
Cup. To slide into that second position there and give themselves a chance to play for a spot at the World Cup next summer. Absolutely incredible stuff. I was spamming you with a bunch of videos you probably haven't even seen, but
Nope.
absolutely incredible scenes here. Did you see this? I'm assuming you at least saw a video of it at this point, right?
I've seen so many videos of it. I did see Ireland. I did see Ireland beat Hungary, so I was like, dude, that's
Okay.
absolutely wild. Because like
Well,
Hungary's like always in it. They're always in the World Cup.
no.
How long's it been since Ireland's been in? I love the fact that it's been like we have like well, we're gonna highlight 3 teams that haven't been in it in like so long from Europe that are
Yeah.
in, and like
Ireland, I think, since the 70s, but Hungary is not a perennial World Cup
no,
qualifier
I thought
either,
they
though.
were.
They haven't been in since 86,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's
So it's
been a
kind of
little
like
while.
if it was kind of like whoever won, kind of, is gonna be their first one in a long time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Gotcha.
But what I love
Gotcha.
about both the Scotland and the Ireland games were the fact that they were both playing at home and just
Mm,
the absolute euphoria you see of
yeah.
just all the fans going crazy on obviously in the video and all the stuff, the home videos you see and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
Ireland's actually been to a World Cup in '02, so I was mistaken by
Oh,
saying
okay.
that they'd been
Gotcha.
since the '70s. But they've only been to 2 World Cups in total, so
Okay.
definitely few and far in
Dang.
between for the Irishmen. But absolute scenes coming from that game, so definitely hit that up if you're wanting some good soccer. Um, just some good soccer highlights. But other news, Norway go through, top in their
Huge.
group pretty easily. Everybody's acting like this is like some like huge feat, but when you have like Martin Odegaard and Erling Haaland in their team, I would hope that you can run your group and make it to a World Cup. But it's cool since they haven't been there since the '90s, since Erling Haaland's dad played for the team. So it's
Really?
cool to see them back and playing in a big tournament. Big news coming out of that group as well. They pip Italy to go 8-0
Yeah.
in the group and send Italy to the playoffs for the third World Cup qualifying process in a row.
Uh-oh.
So we'll see. But what do you guys say about Norway with Erling Haaland and the boys? Gonna see them at a World Cup. Pretty exciting.
I know, it's about time. Like kind of what you were alluding to on paper, they have like a very, very good team. And some people are calling them a dark horse. Like, I mean, with how Holland's playing this season, maybe, maybe. But I mean, this is what the World Cup's for. You want to see the best players in the world playing for the biggest trophy in all of football. So definitely happy to see them in, like you were saying, really surprised that they haven't made it before because they've had kind of this core group for a while. Obviously, Europe's really hard to get out of. It all depends on
Super
your
hard,
your
dude.
qualifying group. It's not quite CONCACAF where you can throw your B and C team out there and still qualify for a World Cup. So,
Yeah, and then
um,
South American tournament where you can literally lose 8 matches and still be,
still make it in.
yeah,
Yeah,
still have a chance. That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but the
So
bigger story, Italy, man, they are on the like I say on the verge because again, they still have the playoff, but obviously the past two qualifying cycles, two World Cups, they have not made, even making it to the playoff as well in those
Right.
two prior to those two World Cups. So I mean, if history repeats itself, I mean that's gonna be three World Cups in a row that Italy, a powerhouse country, doesn't. And
Absolute
it's not
powerhouse.
even a lack of talent either. Like what do you think it is? Like I'm
I
interested to
mean,
hear like
it
what
is
you
a
would think.
little bit the lack of talent, not as far as, they obviously still have really good players, but like when they were, at the powerhouse in like early 2000s and stuff, like the elite players, like some of the best players in the world played for the Italian national team as
It's
well. Like you're
true.
talking about like the Maldinis and the Tottis and all those kind of players. But you don't really have a guy that's just like, oh man, this guy's just world class that you could say
Mm,
like the Italian team should, play around and everything. So they don't quite have like that, just elite talent in every position like they used to. Still have good players, but I think that's a little bit of um the step back. But I just think I don't know what it is. Like maybe just a complacency as well. Like obviously they have all the pressure in the world now. They do have a favorable draw. They're playing Northern Ireland first, and then if they win
okay.
that, they'll get the winner of Wales and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So they've got definitely a little bit of a favorable path there. The Wales, even if
Yeah.
Wales win that, they don't have Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey anymore. So like
Mhm.
they're scrappy, but Italy are definitely gonna be favored there. So but we've seen, like we were just talking off pod, 2022, they were playing North Macedonia in a playoff and they lost 1-0. So
Yeah.
it's really anything can happen. Like I just can't imagine the amount of pressure that those guys are under, just to get back to another World Cup. And they've
Mhm.
done well at Euros. Like obviously they made
Yeah.
it. They won a Euros and then did really well in the 2024. So it's just really odd. The qualification process is always a little bit tricky in
Yeah.
Europe as well. Like you're not just playing Bolivias and island teams and stuff like that. Like you're playing teams that can legitimately beat you almost every international break. So I do hope Italy get back, man. Like
Yeah, me
I
too.
really like the Italian national team. I like the league. I think it's obviously better for the sport for them to be in the World Cup. So they won the World Cup 4 times. So let's get them back in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
but last couple of things we'll touch on is Romania. I know no one else cares, but I'm going to talk about it because I care. So we
That's
came into the
right.
international break with pretty good chances to come in and make some noise. We came in as number 3, third place team in our group, playing the second place team. We weren't favorited to win, but definitely it was like kind of a 50-50 thing. Took the lead early. Got an unfortunate red card later on in the second half, and that's kind of where it spiraled. That was after they equalized early on in the second half, and then they scored 2 goals after we got an unfortunate red card, undeserved in my opinion, but whatever. To officially eliminate us from that
Tough.
portion. Very, very unfortunate. We obviously destroyed San Marino after that, but that didn't really matter. We were already mathematically eliminated with Bosnia beating us three
Mm,
to one in the game prior. But we still have the Nations League route, which
okay.
they just came out with the draw today, actually. Which the Nations League also encapsulates the second place teams. So we'll kind of go over that really quick. I guess I'll just kind of get predictions from you on a couple of these bigger ones. So
Okay.
Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Bosnia. That's the little mini tournament there. I assume you have Italy coming out of that, or you think somebody hangs around, knocks them out again?
I mean, yeah, I mean, just logically, I'm thinking like Italy. Come on,
Yeah,
like we got to get out of here. I think it was like either last World Cup or two World Cups ago. I mean, they were going up against like Portugal had found themselves in the playoff. Obviously, they were the ones that ended up getting out of it. So
yeah,
obviously, that's a taller task than playing like what is it? You said Bosnia and
yeah.
uh
Bosnia, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
yeah, like you said, I would be scared of Wales. Like if this was
Yeah,
like 8 years ago, but, like, it's not. No Gareth Bale.
right.
Obviously, they're not the Wales of old, so I mean, we freaking almost beat them in the World Cup 2 yeah, 2, World Cup yeah, 2 World Cup 1 World Cup ago. So, like, they're definitely not the Wales of old for sure, but I think Italy comes out of the playoff for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, solid. Romania's mini tournament here. We've got Turkey in our first game. If we get past
Oof.
them, we play the winner of Slovakia and Kosovo. Turkey have really emerged over the last couple of years as a pretty solid
Yeah.
country here with Arda Güler and a couple other just really solid players on the back line for them. So that's going to be a really, really tough task. I think if we
Yeah.
somehow scrap out a win against them, I think we're going to the World Cup. I think we'll beat
Yeah.
Slovakia or Kosovo if we come out of that Turkey game winners there. But that's a tall
Yeah.
task, man.
Yeah, I agree. I just saw that Turkey, they tied with Spain, which Spain is one of the powerhouses currently in all of world football. So that's a huge get for them. Yeah, if you guys can make it past Turkey, that's tough, man. Like having the two, I would say you guys are the two best teams in that little mini tournament, and you guys have to face each other in the first game. So kind of
Yeah,
whoever wins that game kind of wins that little bracket going on right
yeah.
there.
The way that the draw pans out, like Ukraine was somehow in pot one and we had a chance to
Gotchas.
face them. I was like, dude, I would give anything to face Ukraine. Like
Oh, yeah.
we beat them. I think it was in the Euros last year. Like we've beaten
Mhm.
them more than we've lost to them, at least
Yeah,
as of late. And like, I was like, dude, I would give anything to be able to play, to
but you
play
got
them. But
Turkey. You got Turkey. Yeah, Turkey's one of those teams that's really, like you said, they've been good and they've come up. They got good players. And like I said, they
yeah,
just tied Spain, so I mean, they're nothing to mess with for sure.
yeah. The last one, or the next to last one we'll touch on is Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, and Albania. You got coming out of there.
Ooh, Ukraine, Sweden, Poland. Ah.
Poland, looking for Robert Lewandowski's last little swan song here.
Yeah, and he's been like hurt. Has he been playing? I don't even think he's been
I don't
playing for
think
them.
so, but
Yeah.
I would assume if they made it, he's going to try to play in his last
Yeah,
one.
definitely. I would say out of this though, I'm gonna go Sweden, I think.
Yeah, I would
I
agree.
I think Sweden, I mean, they're one of those teams that's always pretty good, so I'm gonna take the Swedes.
Yeah, they're pretty solid tactically. Always play good at the back. I think the winner of Ukraine Sweden will probably win
Mm,
that little mini bracket there. And then the last one we'll
yeah,
look at here, kind of the most loaded one. We got the Czech Republic, who are always in at
okay.
least the Euros, been to a
Yeah.
couple World Cups. Ireland, Denmark, and then North Macedonia is in the playoff once again. We'll
Ooh,
see
North Macedonia.
if they can get a little mojo going like they did in the last one.
Ooh, this one's tough. You're right. This one's kinda like it's not quite a group, but, like, you could say it's like the group of death
Yeah.
kinda, like, really,
Yep.
kinda anybody's other, I mean, like you said, North Macedonia could pull something out. I go I think I'm gonna go Denmark, though. I'm kinda leaning that way,
Yeah.
just out of the 4 teams for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's
It's them
oh
or
man.
the Czech Republic, like, that's who I'm, or just is it, who'd you say it was? Is it Czech,
Yeah,
is it
Czech
Czech of,
Republic.
okay,
Czech
I was getting
Republic,
mixed up.
Ireland, Denmark, and North Macedonia.
Yeah, it's between,
Uh,
Czech Republic or Denmark in my opinion, but I'm gonna
okay.
lean Denmark.
Dude, there's so many storylines and ways you could go with this. Like you could go with like the Denmark who lost at the death to Scotland. They're
Yep,
they're thinking, okay, this is a second chance. Like we're gonna go on and get in here now. Or you could go with like the little guys, North Macedonia. Do they conjure up something like they did against Italy last
yep,
time?
right.
Then you got Ireland, who like at
Mhm.
the death, get past Hungary to squeak by. Are they gonna run on that momentum? And then you
Yeah,
got Czech Republic always kind of there in these
yep,
spots, like not any crazy storylines, but they've always got a good squad and ready to be in World Cups. And they were solid at the Euros, so I
mhm.
expect them to build off that. So
Yeah,
that one's gonna be really, really exciting to watch, in my opinion. But
yeah, for
um
sure.
bigger picture, like I I'm kind of torn with how the World Cup is going with like 48 teams or whatever the frick we're getting this year.
Yeah,
Because like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, it's the world's game. Like you want to see more teams in, but then on the other, you're like, well, we want to see the best teams really. But then like if you're gonna expand it, like, do we really want to see Germany beat Haiti 9-0 in a World Cup game? Or
right.
do we want to see Czech Republics and Denmarks and like Turkeys and like other teams where like we might be staring at a World Cup where Italy is like not in for a third time in a row, where it's just
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I get the whole confederation thing and like making it fair, but like a lot of the better countries in the world are in Europe and South
Yeah.
America mainly, but
Right, right.
and South America really, like, they don't need as many spots as they have with
No.
Bolivia or whatever getting in with 8
Yeah, no.
losses.
No.
Ridiculous, but
Yeah, Europe's
it
the
is
one
what it is.
where there's way more good countries than there are in South America. I mean, like, South America, you gotta get, like, Uruguay, Argentina, Brazil,
It's like the
and, like,
top 5
Colombia.
there
Yeah,
really.
like,
Yeah.
Colombia, and then throw in whoever you want that's playing good at the time.
Yeah.
That's all you really need, but in Europe,
North
dude, like
America, it's US, Canada, Mexico, and then maybe throw in a Costa Rica or something like a wild
yeah,
card
like, or a
4th, and that's
Jamaica or
it.
something, like,
Yeah.
you know, someone like that, but, yeah, we need, like, 4 tops. Obviously, you got the 3, and then you got, like, Jamaica, Panama, or someone, whoever figures out how to get to the World Cup, and
Yep.
like we alluded to,
And
South
then we need
America.
32 European teams. Let's just be
Exactly.
honest.
Dude, well, like, we're going through the playoff, and we're just like, you got Italy, who are like, yeah, they should be in, like, and then the group of death we just talked about, like, Czech Republic, Czech Republic, you know, Denmark, Ireland, like, those 3, you could say, like, put them in the freaking World Cup. They're better than all these no-namers from, like, you know, everywhere else that's getting in, like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, we got Curacao and Haiti and Suriname and, like, bro, there's
Yeah.
gonna be some bloodbaths this World Cup, but
Well, I think it was it was, like, this tiny European nation that literally, like, their national team's like a semi-pro team, but they had, like, a path to the World Cup, and they were doing super well. I think since
yeah.
then, they literally lost, like, 8-0 or something, but, like, they'd probably beat
Yeah.
the US. A little team from Europe like that would probably beat us, but
Maybe.
anyways,
We've been doing
crazy.
good in this last couple friendlies though.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
See if it
we beat
translates.
Uruguay, so that's pretty good. Like, that's
Yeah.
that's a good out. But we
Yeah, as soon as we
think,
beat somebody though, everybody's like, "Oh, well, Uruguay wasn't playing this player or that
dude,
player," and
facts,
I'm like, bro,
facts.
you literally can't win. You win 5-1. Oh, not good enough, and you lose, and it's like everybody. It's just whatever.
Yeah. But I did see that our final game leading up to the World Cup, we're playing Germany, which is huge.
Wow.
So we're gonna have 2 really good tune-up games. We got Portugal in March. I think we have a team in between that, and then, like, our send-off game to the World Cup's Germany. So some good competition to either crush our spirits or give us some momentum going into the World
Yeah.
Cup. Because I mean, those teams will play their full squads for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's tune-up
I mean,
game for them too. So
for sure.
good
Potch will
matches.
still be like tinkering with the
Be
MLS
tinkering right up to
guys
the
and be like,
last minute.
"Oh, I don't know."
We're gonna announce our World Cup squad, but in those games, we're gonna have like dudes that aren't even going to the World Cup.
I know.
But I don't think Potch is that bad. But all respect to him. He had some good comments this past time, so I was pretty happy with him. He was saying we should respect the guys that actually get called in and don't stay with their clubs. Like, you know, instead of talking about the guys aren't there, talk about the guys that just beat Uruguay. So I was like,
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
respectable.
But how many days we got to the World Cup? That's coming up. We got, I mean, a few months, but it's less than a year away. Pretty stoked for it, but would be really mad if I'm watching it on TV and it's literally in Charlotte up the road, and I'm like,
Or in
literally,
Atlanta. Yeah.
yeah, or in Atlanta. It's gonna be, that's gonna suck. But I think that's a pod, Sammy.
There's a pod finally.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We finally got Riverside to work. Hey. Sammy Boy worked his IT magic and got it figured out for us tonight. So we appreciate that. But we'd appreciate if you guys would check us out on all of our platforms. Obviously, like and subscribe on YouTube, follow us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, rate us. That would help us out a lot. We will catch you guys on the next one. Aight.
Peace.
Peace.